Gary, bad day at the office at Stangmore Park. How would you sum that one up?
Yeah, a bad day at the office pretty much does sum it up. First half was so far away from where we've been and what we've been about, and that is since way back in pre-season. We just too many individual mistakes, too many individuals just didn't really get themselves going today. But we have to look at it collectively, what we could have done better. Certainly in that first half of the game, we certainly never played the conditions particularly well, and we played ourselves under bother by playing in the wrong areas, and we got punished for it. Second half was a game of them more trying to see it out and us having a go, but even when we did have the chance, we seemed to get in each other's way today, and that probably best sums up the match.
Yeah, we didn't start the game so well. Is it unfair to say they were maybe a bit hungrier or sharper than us at the start of the game?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's unfair to say that. I think obviously we never played last week, and they looked like they were just sharper, you saying. Maybe 2 week break wasn't ideal for us, not especially with the Glens game off last week. But it's no excuse, and we're not looking to make excuses. The individuals need to have a look at themselves and see what they could have done better. We'll have to look at it as a collective and see areas that we need to improve in. Today was just too many people had an off day, and that happens. It happens. The boys have been brilliant up to this point, so I can't overly dwell on it. I've got to move on from it quickly, but I've told them in no uncertain terms that there wasn't the levels that we expect from people. It's not the level I'll accept, so it wasn't like we can't accept it. It's because it was just so flat now, especially in that first 45.
Yeah, I think the goals today were the first ones we conceded since August back at Solitude. The second goal, especially, 3 or 4 minutes after the first one, is that the most disappointing in terms of sometimes you got to shut up shop or weather a storm and not leave yourself a mountain to climb?
I didn't feel so much like a storm in that. We probably just struggled to deal with individuals today. The second goal certainly compounds the first one, but listen, I think the boys are saying it was a clear foul on Dan Bent where he gets dragged back in that there, and I need to see it again, to be honest. If it is not there, then it's one that's missed, but we still got to deal with it. We've prided ourselves on how we defend set pieces and how we defend in general, and we sort of gift wrapped them 2 goals a day, it seemed.
There were flashes and chances at the other end, but we maybe just didn't quite work Declan Dunn enough. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fair to say we didn't work him anywhere near hard enough. When we did get in positions, like I said, Dan and Mark got in each other's way. Mark came in for a header, and with 15-20 minutes to go, it would have been a great time to score and put pressure on them. But we shouldn't need to be chasing after games so badly and trying to force things to make it happen. Thought Conor McKendry came into the game and was a bright spark down the right hand side. We obviously threw Benji on, we made a lot of changes. The 5 boys came into the game. It was bodes well that you get a lot of strength and depth in that coming off the bench. But we just didn't do enough today and out there and ask enough questions.
It would look like a strong penalty shout towards the end of the first half. Does that fall into the same category in terms of we can't look elsewhere for excuses?
Yeah, and again I need to see it. I don't think Matty protested too much. There it looked like he was in on goal, and I kind of was hoping that they just round him and slot it. But obviously he felt there was a bit of contact, and these ones don't go for us today. So you can gripe about decisions, but ultimately we didn't do enough today. But it wasn't about the referee, it wasn't about the performance or anything like that of them. And we gave them something to defend, and they were time wasting and killing the clock and that, which was frustrating, but they had their advantage in order to do that, so we gave it to them, and we can only blame ourselves for that.
In terms of positives, Leroy Miller comes onto the pitch for the first time in a long time. Aaron Donnelly returns after suspension as well, and those are 2 huge players to have back in the reckoning, aren't they?
Yeah, the 2 massive players, 2 of the best players in the league in my opinion, so to have them to come back in again is absolutely brilliant. They've had to work hard and that to get themselves back to this stage, and that they're Leroy especially, so to have him back out there is an absolute massive plus. I kind of wish he was bringing them on under different circumstances now to try and rather than try and drag us back into a game. But Leroy's going to need a wee bit of time, and we got to manage his minutes for the time being, but it won't be long until he's up to full speed.
We go to Dergview now on Tuesday night, and there's a break in the league for another 10 days. It's a matter of making sure we get through that Dergview test well and trying to rest up and then get ready to go again for another busy period.
Yeah, I'm glad in that the games came round so quickly afterwards. We got to address today, so we got to bounce back and show that on Tuesday night down at Dergview away, which is never an easy place to go and play. You want to play games, we want to play matches, we want to come thick and fast. Like I said, the break in momentum doesn't help. I'm losing a game again this weekend, but it is what it is, and we just got to get on with it.
Just lastly, fans really stayed with the team today, and were encouraging right throughout that second half, especially, and that's something you're glad of, I'm sure.
Yeah, listen, the fans were brilliant here today. Big numbers came down here, and they got behind the team, and we let them down today, and we're not shying away from it. They deserve better than what they got served up today. So nobody's going to shy away from not taking responsibility for it. It's my responsibility to get results and performances, and we got neither today. So apologies to them and Ali, but we'll come back fighting. I guarantee you that.
A bit of a disappointing day. How do you see that one overall?
I think Dungannon deserved to win the game. Didn't think we came out well enough. They were in our faces. We actually gave them 2 goals in my opinion, but at the end of the day I didn't think we were at it at all.
Yeah, is it hard to put your finger on sometimes why you get a day like that when we start as sluggish as we did?
It's frustrating. Obviously we've been doing so well, and when you come here, it's going to be a tough game. They're a good side, and we just didn't come at it, and we get punished for it.
Yeah, it's a reminder, I suppose, in this league that you really can't take your foot off against the pedal. Sure, you can't, no matter who you're up against or where you're playing.
Definitely. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. You need to be at it every single week, or you'll get punished, as we did today. Yeah, definitely.
We've seen other teams, I suppose, around us either drop points or not playing today, and maybe makes it a little bit more disappointing that we couldn't sort of capitalise on that today.
It's definitely disappointing. We could have went into the game. We got 3 points. We'd have been sitting top of the league. So we're definitely kicking ourselves in there about that. Yeah, definitely.
Disappointing days come, I suppose, don't they? But it's how you react to it and making sure that maybe a disappointing day or a bad result doesn't become a bad run. We respond to it.
100%. As I said, we've been doing so well. I think we've clapped 6 or 7 clean sheets in a row. Undefeated since the first league game of the season. And since I've been in the club, we've always bounced back well. Be a tough defeat, so I have no doubt we'll do it again.
Yeah, and when we were talking to Gary, he was talking about positives of Leroy obviously being back on the pitch and yourself being back as well. And I know you'll not take much from it right now, but I'm sure you're glad to be back out there and know that suspension's cleared now.
No, I'm delighted. It's been frustrating. I'm sitting in the stand the last couple of weeks watching the boys. And it's obviously brilliant for Leroy to get back. It's been frustrating. A lot of months for him. And we're all delighted that he's back on the pitch, and hopefully he can push on and help us this season.
Yeah, I suppose it's important to remember in a day like that there's so much to play for, isn't there, in the league and all of the competitions ahead of us. So yeah, there's a lot still to be determined and a lot ahead of us.
No, definitely, there's so much to play for. We'll be disappointed over the weekend here, but we've got another game Tuesday. We'll look after that, and we'll see where it takes us after that.